This episode is dedicated to Ricky Tercios. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? He's a MMA fighter who, at an interview he did, he said, you know what I'm saying? Like,
98 times.
and that's insane. That is absolutely insane to say that phrase that many times.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, dude? I feel like I say, you know what I mean, hella. So I get what you're saying, Ricky. Like it's the I get it. I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, guys. Next week we are going to be bringing back Say What's Real after about a year hiatus.
Woo! You need a like clap here. Like,
Everybody clap.
You need a sound effect.
Yeah, we'll put in a GIF or something. But you guys have seen her before. She's been on the channel. Her name is Tommy Joe. She's a singer from up here. She is the person that I'm bringing back to do the Say What's Real interviews. So I'm pumped because not only I know her, I've been around her before, I've interviewed her before, but her like music talent has only gotten better since the last time me and her spoke. If you guys haven't seen that episode, I'll link it below. You guys should go check it out. She makes great music. So, but yeah, I wanted to start off this episode before I do. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, you know, all the good stuff because...
Come on, Tony,
what you do? The stats prove it, do what you do. We're going to start off the episode a little different. For people who have been watching, who know me and Sam in real life, the podcast looks very different than it did last year. It's been about a year since I did Say What's Real. So... the last time I did a Say What's Real episode, Justin was still on the podcast. Okay. I'd never actually addressed this until now. And I know my brother's like a really private person. So I know he's probably, and he hates anything that involves any type of like display like this. But yeah, no, Justin hasn't podcasted with me in about a year. And if you've been a fan of the channel, a supporter, anybody who knows me, that's who I was doing the podcast with for about 4 years. Give or take it was about 4 years because about like a month or two after the 4-year anniversary, that's when me and him stopped. I won't get into too much detail about it, but that is why I think after the last Say What's Real episode I did, which was with Jay Fitty, I went like the next 4 or 5 months by myself. Those episodes, I gave it my all. I'm not going to lie. This is hard to do it with someone else, let alone doing it by yourself. Doing it by yourself sucks. You have to laugh at your own jokes. You have to kind of like bounce off the walls with your own ideas. And a lot of the times I laugh at things that I say that you might not find funny. So it sucked for a while, right? And I wanted to give up right around December of last year, of 2023. I was ready to quit. I was like, this isn't worth it anymore, bro. It was only fun when my brother and my cousin were here doing it with me, right? That was kind of, I was like, this might be the end, right? We weren't doing music anymore. We weren't doing any of that stuff. But then Sam was already in my life, but he came into my life in a way that kind of like re-energized like my love for friendships, my love for doing this. And me and Sam have been doing it ever since. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to really get into a lot of detail about why me and Justin aren't talking right now, or we did have a falling out, but it's one of those things where I've had a couple people say, "Oh, you don't do it with Justin anymore," or like Justin's not doing it anymore. No, he's not, and it's not that I wouldn't welcome him back, but like I've kind of grown past that form of podcasting, right? Justin was very quiet. He wouldn't really talk much. He did talk a lot during like the Say What's Real episodes, but yeah, it's kind of hard talking about this, Sam, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. It's because I do miss my brother. Justin may never see this. Who knows if he still watches this or listens? But I do miss him. I miss him away from the podcasting stuff, like just away from the music and podcasting stuff. Like I do miss my brother, and it's been one of those things where that's the reason I wanted to quit last year.
You gotta reach back out, man.
I try, man, but my brother's stubborn. You know.
Yeah.
I love my brother, but he's stubborn. So, and I kind of held off on talking about it on the podcast or on a public platform because my brother's not really into that kind of stuff. I know making like a public statement is something he's not really into. So, but yeah, it was hard because I had a really really great relationship with him. Like we were like the Goku and Vegeta of everything we did, right? And to like not have that person in your life anymore at any capacity was like a huge culture shock to me.
I feel that.
You know, and he has his reasons. I have my reasons. I don't think it's a forever thing, but yeah, it's one of those things where like when you watch content creators, I feel like I connect with them more when they're more personal, when they tell you like stuff that's away from a script.
Mm-hmm.
Like this isn't scripted. This is just me talking.
Yeah, I didn't know you were gonna talk
Yeah,
about this.
yeah. And so, because something came up earlier last week where somebody who's like a huge part of what I do with like the audio stuff was like, "Hey, you and your brother don't do this anymore. What do you mean?" I was like, "Yeah, we don't do this anymore." And I felt like he was like, "Oh, you never said anything." Again, it's because my brother's not really like a public, like this isn't like something that we do, right? So, and if he does still watch, cool, but I don't think he does. Why would he? But for anybody out there who like does stuff like this, it's not easy doing it by yourself. What you mentioned earlier, Sam, when like you do the solo videos, it's not the same.
No, it's not at all. It's hard to talk to yourself in front of a camera. I bet you it's something you get used to, but it is so much more fun and enjoyable with someone you get along with.
100%.
I mean, obviously, if I hated you, we wouldn't keep doing this, but
No, I have a lot of fun. It's because I feel like it's so when me and Sam shoot, we usually hang out for a couple hours beforehand. We kind of loosen up and just like do stuff away from this, and then we also see each other at work. So it's like we're building something away. It's like building something that's not the podcast too,
Exactly.
right? Because there's been some weeks where I think it's only been 1 week where we shot and boom, it was like really quick, right? But
Yeah.
usually it's not like that. It's usually like centered around like hanging out.
And then we had that 1 week where I came at lunch.
Yeah,
You
that was
know?
the first time ever.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, that was the first time ever. And
I was not prepared at all.
and I was like, that was kind of rushed. It felt really quick. That's why when we started shooting on Mondays, I was like, hey, this will work. If this works for you, this works for me. It gives us time to hang out. There's no like rush to get back to work, rush to get back to whatever we're doing.
Also, in the comments, let us know if you guys would be interested in us streaming.
Yeah, please.
I've been trying to convince Andrew
Yeah,
to
he's
do
been
like a
trying.
weekly stream, him on TikTok, me on YouTube, and I think we would have so much fun. We bounce off of each other really well. So
And me and Sam are quick with like the on spot wittiness.
yeah, and maybe we could play game. I could get him to get a PS5 and play NCAA or
Hey, I'm good at those games, guys. So if you like that type of stuff, anybody who watches and cares, yeah, comment below or just let me know in person if that's something you're interested in because it's fun. This whole thing's fun. What I'm trying to say is it's fun now. No offense to you, Justin, but it's fun now. Like with you, it was like very technical. It was very business oriented, right? Because you're my brother, so yes, I saw you all the time away from it, and it just for a while it wasn't fun. I'm pretty sure you would say that. You could agree with that. It wasn't fun. It felt like it was just like a rotating wheel that was driving. It's like, yeah, we're driving and we're gonna get from point A to point B, but like everything in between wasn't fun. You did teach me a lot. Justin taught me the editing. We went through a lot of growth together, so I will never take that away. But yeah, for the people who've watched since the beginning, we don't like. Not only do we not podcast together, like that's why there's no music on the music channel, which sucks. I fucking loved making music.
I told you, hey, you need to do your own solo thing.
I know, man. I just gotta man up and start doing
You
it.
keep putting together these dope ass little raps
I know, man.
over like, put those out.
And for my cousin too, like, yeah, we have this. Our family's just kind of like this cursed family where like we kind of like inherited a lot of generational curses. and it wasn't fair to any of us. It wasn't fair to them, me, to any of the other siblings in the family. It's just one of those sucky things you can't control. And I hope you both know that I still love you. I still think about you all the time. I care about your guys' well being. So, the show, obviously, to me, the show has to go on.
The show must go on.
Yeah. So, the this is this next one, because I'm going to get off this like sad monotone shit.
Yeah,
But
I was like about to cry, so
yeah.
let's change it.
I was actually scared earlier today. I was like, hey, if I address this, do not start crying, Andrew.
What if I started crying? What would you do?
I think that'd be better, though.
You think you wouldn't cry if I was crying?
No, I mean, I'd be like, damn, dude, like, why am I not crying?
Right,
Because Sam's crying, and then now I have to like be double, like, wait, why am I not crying?
right.
But
Because my life, my family is so different. Like my family's super tight, and it's here. It's hard hearing that, you know.
it is. It's been hard. This whole like, I haven't talked to my brother in a year, and I know most people probably are like, oh, just reach out. Not only does he not respond in text messages, he doesn't respond in any way else. Like, my brother's very stubborn,
Right.
and it could be for like the smallest shit. And and again, not to get too much into detail about that, but he knows I love him. He knows I miss him. He knows how much his kids mean to me. So like, it's one of those things where like, bro, if you end up watching this, like, this doesn't have to last forever. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and for the people watching, I made a video like almost a year ago. I did give Justin his flowers because yeah, you taught me all the editing. I've watched you grow into like an awesome dad to your kids. You are a good person, but just I feel like there's just certain things that like we always butted heads on, and maybe instead of like what's happening now, communication would have been better. You know, communication is key in every relationship, and this last year I've lost a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even just like when I say I've lost a lot of things, I've lost a lot of like personal relationships. Like the girl I was dating, my brother, my cousin, all happened in the same time. I had people in my life die. I've had my best friend's fiance died this year. All in the same year this happened. And the one person that I had that was like my go-to person to like talk to and like, just share this type of stuff with, I don't talk to him anymore. So when it's like, oh, hey, like I felt like I was going crazy, bro. I was like, I can't go to Justin and say, hey, damn, my best friend's wife died. Our other friend who we mutually made music with died. That sucks. Let's do a tribute to him. I couldn't even do any of that because all of this stuff was happening.
Right.
I can't go to him and be like, oh, stuff with like my girlfriend at the time was happening and like this might be ending. Like it was hard. Then getting into like drinking problems and just being depressed and like all that shit just started adding up. A lot of you who are watching probably can relate to that shit, like the drinking problems, the depression, family issues. It all just
It
started
happens to
piling up.
everyone, man.
So, but yeah, one of the first things we're gonna reach on tonight. This is hilarious. So Sam had told me, okay, Sam had told me about a tribe of people, and hopefully I'm not saying this wrong, Sam, but they got introduced to porn. Right?
Yeah, they got the internet. Starlink.
Yeah.
Elon Musk's Starlink.
And from the articles that I was reading, it made it sound like the porn addiction was like really bad. Like they were looking up some crazy stuff. It was like wild, right?
Bukkake,
Yeah, like the crazy
animal
stuff.
PC.
So, and when you're reading that, you're like, damn, bro, like they barely just got the internet and this is what is happening, because it took the rest of the world like a while, right?
Yeah, we grew into it. We were
Yeah.
like, we have the internet. It's just like a little, like you got Wikipedia. You
Yeah.
got. We started out with Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Wikipedia was the internet for a while. Like you'd search something up and there would be a Wikipedia article about it, and you wouldn't look at anything else. Now you have Twitter, you have Instagram, you have YouTube, you have Instagram, you have Pornhub, you have Jizz. You know.
Oh, the access to porn is crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, and then it's also like pseudo linked to every social media, like in Twitter. If you've ever clicked on a Twitter thing to look at the comments, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see an OnlyFans ad
Yep.
that is being just pushed at you. And it's like, dang, that's a girl. Like, that girl's spreading it open. And it's like,
That's why I hate social media, man. I know it's weird here saying that because we're people who make content and we like doing stuff like this, but like as I get older, I absolutely just don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to be a part of like online, everything's porn, everything's an agenda, everything's like made to like melt the minds of the young people that are on these platforms.
so much brain rot.
And I tell our friends at work, we have younger coworkers who are like 18, 19 years old. I always tell them, your guys' generation will have the worst women and men, but I mainly talk about the women, and because I like dating women. You guys will have the worst probably ever to date. And I say that because social media has made it to where there's all these really high expectations from the 1% of people who make the millions and billions and the athletes, right? There's so much expectation with that now every single woman, even if you're like an average woman, you want that.
Yeah.
I want a guy who's a millionaire who could take care of me, who makes over 100, 200,000 a year, and I want this, and this. But like in reality, that's not real.
No, that is the 1%, and that's why they call it the 1%.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if you're a 5, but you're looking for a 10 who also has all these things. They have $1 billion and they make YouTube videos and they're about to be a pro athlete. You can't. Those people don't exist.
No, not they
like
don't.
in our town, who has come out of Federal Way, Washington?
1%.
Jaden McDaniels, and who else?
I can't even think of another person. He literally is the 1% from Federal Way, bro. And I'm sorry, men are the same way. I used to tell my friends, I've had the same friend group since like high school. And I used to tell certain friends in my friend group, like, hey, maybe the problem is that you're trying to date out of your league.
Exactly.
You're trying to go for like the 10s and 9s, but I'm sorry, bud, you're not a 10 or 9. Yeah. And maybe that's why you have a hard time dating. That's why you have a hard time finding girls that you like, because you're going after like the soulless 10s and 9s. Yeah. Maybe stick at like a 7 or a 6, like a girl who's like really nice, really down to earth, has good morals, good values, and who will actually appreciate you and is like decent looking.
And there are 10s that are like that, but they are unobtainable.
Yeah, they're unobtainable. And like that's the problem is social media.
That's Ariana Grande.
She seems like really sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because she dates ugly ass motherfuckers. That's why.
Yeah.
So Ariana Grande is one of those like, hey, like Ariana Grande, the guy you're dating now looks like your brother. What you do? But the porn thing, it's funny because this tribe, they says they're addicted to porn, and I was like, damn, Sam, when you told me that, I was like, I wonder what type of porn they're addicted to.
Yeah, right.
Like if this tribe got the internet,
like how fast did they figure out about what's it called? Not manga. The cartoon porn.
Oh, hentai.
Hentai. How fast did they learn about that?
Yeah, like,
and do they like it?
Are they like what are they watching it in groups? So like what is happening? Right? Is there like any shame involved?
Hey, Mimbu, come over here.
Yeah, Mimbu. Yeah, like Rakifi. Rakifi. Yeah, that'd probably be like the biggest buzz in their village.
They're like, look at the titties.
Yeah, bro. Like we're not about to go hunting today. I'm trying to look at some puss.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part that they kept talking about. It's not really a porn addiction. Let's get that straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a social media addiction that's like slowing down the progression of their tribe.
Imagine showing the North Sentinelese, porn, like, because porn, yeah, there is a porn problem. I'm not necessarily affected by it. I do watch porn a lot, but I don't think it affects my life to the point where like I can't do normal day-to-day stuff.
Right.
But I'm on Safari like every day looking at porn, bro.
Yeah, I mean it kind of is just forced upon you. But No, I think there is a problem with it. I think that too many people
have access to it,
and it's just not being regulated well enough.
Well, it's hard to regulate it,
and I hate to call people bad mothers and fathers, but they don't regulate their children's phones enough.
Hmm.
I think that's a huge problem. Like, parents always complain about social media and it having these effects on their kids, and their kids are being shown all this stuff, but at the end of the day, just like block those websites. That's your job as a parent, you
Yep,
know?
100%, bro. I agree.
So I think that's the main problem is like we're being shown like Instagram, for instance, is just it's so hard to look at and not feel down on yourself. You know,
About everything, bro.
if you're not if you're like an average to slightly above average looking person, it kills you. I mean, you look at these perfect dudes and these perfect females, and it's like, dang, why don't I see this person? Or why do I not look like this person, you know?
It really skews your point of view on life, right? Because Instagram is one of those apps where I knew people in real life who had cocaine issues. They were sleeping around with hella dudes, getting hella abortions. They're just being like degenerate people. But when you go to their Instagram,
They look
it was
perfect.
completely family pictures. They're having a good day. Nothing's ever wrong. But when you knew them in real life,
Yep.
that wasn't the issue. And then the problem is other people look at their Instagram, see all the perfectness, and want to emulate that.
Yeah,
But the but that's not possible when they're not showing you what's really fucking going on.
it's kind of like another thing I have a huge problem with is like family channels. I mean, of course there's good family channels
Yeah.
who aren't forcing it upon their children. But the Eighth Family, how many kids have they pumped out just to continue building this family channel? It's not because they want more
They
children.
want more money,
They
bro.
want more money. And it's
Yeah.
just like from imagine you had a camera in your face
Mm-hmm.
from like since you were born. Like you always were being told by your parents, okay, we're gonna have this reaction, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that.
And it's not genuine. You're not having a
It's
genuine
not
family
genuine, and
experience.
you're not growing.
Yeah.
You're being put into. It's very similar to like young adults or young children who get put into like the acting industry, and they have to put on this facade for years and years and years, and then they don't have an identity when they come out because or they're addicted to the party life and
The drugs,
the
the
fame
alcohol.
life and all this other stuff. I mean, it's so bad. It's so toxic, and
Well, they don't have an identity because their whole identity was being fucking fake their entire life.
yeah,
They
like
just fake, 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 fake.
yeah, like the Olsen twins. I mean, these people have been in 15, 20 seasons of a show since they were 3 years old. What life do you get? You're
They don't.
filming your whole life.
And they look like they have no life. You could see there's no soul in them.
Exactly.
They just look.
They're a script. Their whole life is a script.
They get whatever they want. Probably they can afford whatever they want. That's not real life. It should be. I feel like everybody alive should be able to get what they want and like be happy and have fun.
Obviously.
But like that's not really what it is. Which is why there's a lot of good men out there who will get screwed over by women because they're not making over 100K a year. When in reality, you guys like fast food, right? I'm assuming you guys like fast food. There has to be people who makes that food, right? There has to be people who work in the retail stores, who work at restaurants. Those people deserve to have a living wage too. But since they're not making 100K a year or they're not able to like afford your lavish lifestyle, you wouldn't even look twice at them. But you guys go to those fucking places and order food from them. You go to the retail stores and harass them. You go to all these places and just make fun of them and look down on them for those type of jobs. But and they're not just like those jobs are for high schoolers. No, the fuck it's not. We work with people, Sam, who have worked there for decades.
Decades.
And these people are telling us those people don't deserve to make a livable wage because they work at a retail store? Like what we have fucking completely lost our minds, and social media has heightened it, times it by 10, and it makes everything just unobtainable. That's why like it's funny when this tribe stuff came out because it's like look how fast these people were addicted by porn.
Or social media in general.
Yeah.
And imagine how fast they're finding like these how to be a Giga Chad videos and
Social media, you know what I noticed too, because this kind of flows into the next topic when you were going to talk about when it comes to like Disney and Disney Plus and like social media. Have you noticed that since social media has become so big with like the movie reviewing and TV reviewing, that Disney's kind of resorted to like blaming fans for things.
they are.
They'll say like, "Oh, it's the well, Star Wars has like a main like their main fan base is all men and like they're really mean to the women and people of color and they're intolerant." Instead of just making good product, because when the MCU was at its height, we loved it. The social media would glaze the MCU.
Oh, and the Endgame release was
Oh my
ridiculous.
god,
That's
Infinity
one of the
War, everything
craziest
before
things
that
I've
shit.
ever seen.
There was no like, well, because let's be real, comic books, that type of stuff, like those type of TV shows on Disney Plus, a large portion of their fan base is men. Okay, just like with sports, which is why the WNBA is failing a lot of that stuff because women just don't watch it. Right? There is women who do, but they just don't support it.
It's just
Which
a smaller, such a smaller percentage.
and it's the same thing with the comic book stuff. I like yes, there is women who watch that stuff, obviously, but it's not their main fan base. And when Disney starts to go and attack that fan base because that fan base is mad that you're doing certain things, it's almost like they're saying like, well, social media made these problems so much bigger, and social media has heightened like the hate around it that we're just gonna ignore why they're mad and keep pumping out this trash. And when and I saw the first two episodes of The Acolyte that came out.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't, right?
No,
But you've
I
seen
did
like The
not.
Mandalorian and Ahsoka,
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
yeah. Not Ahsoka, just the
No,
Mandalorian. Ahsoka was terrible.
I thought Ahsoka was cool, but you didn't like it, or you heard about it. You heard bad things about it.
No, I watched like an episode or two, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, season 3 of The Mandalorian was pretty terrible, but it wasn't
It was a
because
bad
Bo
script.
Katan or any of that shit. It was just a bad script.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's been haunting Disney as a whole
Since
is
like
just
COVID,
like
right?
they haven't had dynamic scripts. They're just trying to sell us a product instead of making a product, you know?
They're trying to sell a product and an agenda. People can get mad at this, but Disney is 100% trying to sell a product and an agenda.
Right.
They're like, oh, we want to make everybody feel included, which I'm down for. But does it, like, if that takes place above the actual storytelling of Star Wars, that's a problem, right? And you could blame it on social media and men, and you could blame it on all these other things, but that's not the issue here. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Huge Star Wars fan. I'm almost done watching anything Disney puts out now. I'm almost done with it. You could
I'll
just
watch Deadpool. I'll watch Loki season 3 if it ever comes out.
well, I mean like I'm almost done with anything Star Wars Disney.
Oh, no, okay.
Because I'm excited about Deadpool 3. But everything else that Star Wars has been putting out, it's just you got these people on interviews and press junkets talking about and it can blow up the Death Star so they don't know about the lore. They don't know what they're talking about. The writers don't know what they're doing. The writers don't know about the lore. The president of Lucasfilm likes to blame men and blame toxic males of their fan base for why their shows are failing. The showrunners are doing the same thing. No one's standing up and saying anything like the people who actually know what they're talking about. They're too afraid to stand up and say anything because they're afraid that they're going to get canceled or they're going to get ridiculed for saying something. But Star Wars is such a sacred property that if you don't know about it before you're about to start making a show or writing for it, why are you a writer on this show? Yes, I've always said this, Sam. I don't care if the writers are black, white, trans, gay, Jewish, whatever you want to say, whatever the writer is, as long as that writer knows about Star Wars and respects the lore and respects what George Lucas created, I'm down. But the second you start putting that type of stuff ahead of storytelling, and not only that, those people don't know what they're talking about and they don't know what they're writing about and they just want to interject their own, like, oh, I feel like the main character should be like what I was growing up. That's where you're going to lose your fans. You're going to lose money. The Acolyte should be getting great reviews. It should be having everybody excited for Star Wars again. It's not. Maybe social media is an issue, bro. My friend Warren has like a he has like a huge problem with social media because he says it's like ruining our society. And I used to really push back on that. I'm like, oh, it's like a digital town square. Everybody can get together and talk and share ideas. And if something bad's happening, we can all communicate with each other. But now
I,
that I'm getting older, it's just on both sides. It's just looking fucking trash, dude.
I don't think you can blame social media completely. I do think it has an effect, but I think social media's effect actually might be more on the positive side. If you think about it, like if you look at reviewers of anything that's come out Disney related, whether it's any of this MCU stuff that's come out in the last couple of years, they're telling people to stay away from this content. You
Yeah, a
know,
lot
and
of the reviewers are saying, hey,
this isn't good. We shouldn't be supporting this product. Um, or it's just straight up hate comments, you know? But I think that's positive because at the end of the day, the only fault is to these studios trying to bend the knee to their advertisers and the people that are paying them their money, their bills. And like when the MCU started failing, I hate to say that it's because of women or anything like
yeah,
that, but they put out so many like main characters that are females, and I'm sorry, your main audience doesn't align
with that.
100% with these females. Like an in a small niche Indian girl doesn't have a small it doesn't have a large audience in your main audience isn't going to give a shit.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the WNBA, man. There's a lot of people who support women's basketball, right? But women aren't supporting it.
Right.
So what is the WNBA for then? Because if
Right.
women aren't watching it and men aren't watching it, you're just having it exist to say that there's a women's league.
Hey, right now the WNBA has pulled it. The Fever game last week pulled in more views than the finals,
Amazing.
which is crazy.
Okay, so let's say like the Marvel show
Yeah,
with
that's
the three, with the girl.
the movie.
Never. Oh, the movie. I always talk about the show too on Disney Plus. Isn't it Miss
Miss
Marvel?
Marvel, yeah,
Yeah.
with the Indian girl.
So I've never seen it, and I'm not saying it's bad. It could be a good show. I've never seen it, and I won't watch it because it's not that I won't watch it because there's a woman as the lead. Obviously, a show
Exactly.
called Miss Marvel's gonna have a woman lead.
Right.
Like in DC, Wonder Woman is a female character who's the lead of Wonder Woman show, the movie, right?
Right.
Yeah, it did really good at the box office.
Yeah.
But the problem is these companies and the writers aren't just making a good story with the female lead. They're trying to interject real life Earth things into a comic book show. Like
Which is cool.
men are evil and women have a heart. Like, bro,
You got it right on the head. I think that's the problem is they are trying to interject their own narratives instead of just putting in a good product. Obviously, if it makes sense to have an agenda for a specific show like the Captain America show that just came out.
oh, with Falcon and
Falcon
yeah.
and the yeah, that was I think that they pushed the right agenda, you know, of the government being corrupt and pushing stuff like this. It made sense for that show.
Well, didn't that show have a lot of like black and white
Yeah, it was a
issues?
lot of stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it made sense for the character and it progressed the story further.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I didn't like the show, but I still watched the whole thing, and I would say I gave it like a good 7 out of 10.
Yeah, and
So I didn't hate the show, but I was like, what is this? What are
and
we?
I think Miss Marvel is the same thing is but as I said, most of your audience isn't going to give a shit about
That?
this character.
Make us care.
It's so niche and I'm gonna watch anything Marvel puts out because I'm addicted to this shit.
It's the same with me and Star Wars. I'll
I
watch
hate
whatever they
it.
put out.
The last 4 years of Marvel has been absolutely disastrous.
Trash.
There's
Dude.
been good stuff sprinkled throughout and things that I loved, WandaVision and the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I mean I even like Thor: Love and Thunder. Don't kill me. But I it's been so bad. It's been Loki season 2. It might be the best thing Marvel's ever put out. Don't
Yeah,
kill
that
me
was
about
season 2
that
was
either.
amazing, and season 1 of Loki was amazing too.
Yeah, but I just love Tom Hiddleston, so that's a little bit unfair. And I love the actress who plays Miss Marvel now. She's great as well because she's actually like a super fan, which makes her like a good character. Like she makes a terrible script into a good script, which was the same thing I was telling you about Pedro Pascal in Narcos.
Yeah, yeah, no, you did, and you guys comment below. What are you thinking, man? Are you thinking?
Not Narcos, Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian. Yeah, cause we were just watching Narcos, so I agreed like blindly with that. we were watching Narcos, so but yeah, you guys comment below. Share your thoughts with us. Maybe we can have a little dialogue there at the end. In the comment section. But that is episode 150 of the DrewCast. Thank you guys for joining us. You can catch me and Sam on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Reels, all the good stuff. And yeah, catch you guys next week.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Peace.